So I wanted to come to China because I had travelled here before, just on holidays. And when I was thinking of what I want to do this summer, then that was the first thing that came to mind, that China would be the country that I wanted to come to. And I thought doing an internship here would give me the best experience. I think Beijing is really interesting. It's very diverse and you can really experience pretty much everything here. I'm really enjoying it. I think the people just the same. Some of them most of them actually are really nice, and I've felt pretty welcome here. I've tried street food, and that's been really interesting, and some of it's been really good. Other parts of it haven't been that great, but in general it's been an experience. Well, obviously I did all of the touristy things in Beijing, so Summer Palace and Forbidden City, Great Wall outside of Beijing, but I think that the most enjoyable and different experience was when we went to this rooftop that is sort of on top of the building where my friends live during the night, and it was just this kind of a tranquil oasis in the middle of Beijing. I think just my favourite thing would be to just get lost in Beijing and take the subway somewhere, get off and just discover the city. The subway is really cheap, it's very easy to get around. Because there are stops pretty much everywhere, and if there isn't one, then there's one nearby. So I'm finding it really easy to get around, and obviously you can always get a taxi. I thought the accommodation was really good, especially talking to my friends who are trying to find accommodation on their own. They've been struggling a bit, so I felt really lucky to have accommodation sorted out. I think interning gives you an experience that just travelling or sightseeing doesn't. You really get to see everyday life. Living here for a month or longer, it gives you a true experience of what the city is like. I've really enjoyed my internship. I felt like the company's been brilliant, and the people there, all the other employees and my supervisor and the boss have been really welcoming, and the work that they've given me has been really interesting. I work for a Chinese law firm called Gi2C, and they deal mostly with foreigners and their legal issues, so that's both corporate and family law. I also did both corporate and family law related things, so drafting contracts, but also just legal research and things like that. I absolutely gained a lot of experience, so I feel like I learned a lot more about Chinese law, but also how it relates to British law, and apart from that, really the people here as well. The work atmosphere was actually really similar to what is back home. I feel like people are pretty focused at work, but then again during lunch break we all kind of gather in the kitchen and talk, even when there are other employees that don't necessarily speak English that well. They always try and include me in their conversations. I discovered getting to China basically just Googling and found it on the internet. I visited your website. I felt like it was certainly informative in some areas, but then in other areas it could have had a bit more information and maybe a bit easier access, sort of. I felt like it was really easy to find my internship through getting to China. So I just applied online, sent in the original application, then had an interview. Afterwards, they helped me fill in another application on Skype and sent that in, and then I got a reply I think a week after. I feel like the support through getting to China has been really good. Whenever I've needed something, or I find it really easy to contact people. I think for me personally, because I'm doing law and it is in Chinese law, it would have been easier to find maybe a position in an international law firm in China, but that wasn't what I was going for. So I felt like finding a Chinese law firm through the company was definitely a lot easier. I feel like the most memorable situations have really been with the whole intern group. So when we've been out and all of the events that Gi2C has organised, we've all had a great time there. To other interns considering China, I'd say don't be afraid of the country. Take the leap, it's so interesting and you'll get a great experience from it.